Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world and watching this at this moment in time. I'm Kerry Burr, the Human GPS of the Mental Health Warriors. This is Coffee Morning, and we'll be with you just after this. Good morning. I'm joined by Kerry Duval, the Warrior Queen, my wonderful co-host on Coffee Morning this wonderful Monday morning. I would say bright and sunny, but the sun seems to be hiding behind the clouds a bit today. But it's still a great Monday morning, nevertheless.
I'm back after 3 weeks away. I'm back on Coffee Morning. Yes. I keep getting kicked out of my co-hosting seat.
Oh, bless you. Mind you, I had a week off, didn't I? Or was it 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
I can't remember. Yeah. But
yeah.
You're back.
But at least you're back now. At least you're back now.
Yes, absolutely. And I know we've talked about this. So we thought we'd talk this morning about stress. What actually is stress? What causes stress? How does stress actually affect us? And what can we do to alleviate it? Most importantly, I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that I'm usually bright and cheerful when I come on the show on a Monday morning, but today I'm just like really pumped up, and I've been feeling like this for a couple of weeks now after having a week off, a complete week off. And actually doing some fun things over the weekends as well. I really helps. I'm very much an introvert, so I do like my own space. I do like my own company. That doesn't mean to say that I don't like the company of others. But I can be very particular about who I spend my time with. But there's absolutely something to be said about letting that inner child come out and play for a bit. Absolutely. Well, let's face it, as kids, we don't realise what stress is. We don't know stress, do we? Other than, when we're not allowed to do something that we really want to do, or we can't have something that we can't, that we're not allowed to have. And although that is a stress of sorts, it's more disappointment and frustration about not being able to have our own way, if you like, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I don't know about the kids that you come across, but mine just whenever the word no is said, it's you're so unfair, Mum, and it's like, I'm not unfair. I'm saying no for a reason.
Absolutely. Yeah. And to be fair, no is a very powerful word.
Yeah.
And one that we all need to use a bit more often, I think. Because that word no helps to protect our boundaries. It helps to protect ourselves and keep those stress levels at a minimum.
Yeah, no, but then obviously when you get Adam teaching Lucas and Tegan that no means next opportunity, they're constantly throwing that at me. But the next opportunity is now. Can I have it now? No.
Yeah, there's kids have a lot to learn, don't they? And even when they get to teenage years, and obviously we've been there ourselves, we think we know everything. We think that we know better than anybody else. We don't stop and think about the fact that those people that we're talking to are considerably older than us. They've been there, done it, worn the T-shirt, and so they have far more experience, and they know what they're talking about, and we actually really don't for much of the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it is. No, well, I was thinking, obviously, when we confirmed the topic this morning, yesterday, I've been thinking about it this morning while ironing, which I can't stand ironing, about SMART goals. So that's one of the methods. I'm going to jump up ahead a little bit, but that is one of the methods of dealing with stress is SMART goals. So if there's a particular big problem in your life, breaking it down into smaller chunks and applying SMART to it, so it's specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time related. Unbeknown to me, another thing popped in my head afterwards that I'd actually applied that same thing to my what they call. I completely forgot now. To my goals for this year.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like I said to Adam, what are you doing to me?
This is what I teach people. This is what I teach my clients when they're struggling to achieve certain things. And I say to them, right, let's break it down. What do you need to achieve in the next week, month, 3 months?
Yeah.
And then we break it down. We break it down into daily actions that are reasonable for them to achieve. And they are proactive and productive and effective actions that we can all take to move us forward in the right direction, And the important thing whilst we're doing that as well is actually gauging our progress to work out actually is what we're doing working for us, or is it helping us stagnate, or is it actually taking us further away from what we want to achieve? So it all sounds very complex and like using an awful lot of what goes on up in our heads. But the more you do it, the more it becomes second nature. It's like in anything that is second nature, you're installing a new habit, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, this is one of the examples we've got at the moment. We're obviously trying to sort out a school for Lucas. He's got fed up with the homeschooling, doesn't want to do it anymore. Fine, okay. So now, obviously, we need to move him back into school. The steps that we're having to take at the moment is we're having to have weekly meetings with the council, and when we do meet with the council every week, we're putting steps in place. Okay, we need to do this by next week. We need to do this by next week. We also need to do this by next week. And each of them is maybe speak to somebody, go and do some research on something. It is stressful because you're like, but we need to sort this out now, sort of thing. But we do know that things take time. Can't just ring a school up and it can start the next day. It doesn't work like that, especially with autism.
Yeah, as with anything, we have to learn patience, don't we?
Adam needs to learn patience.
we all have to learn patience. It is one of those things that helps to relieve and ease and prevent the stress from coming in. I mean, there are different types of stress, and there's stress when you're under pressure to finish something. That can be viewed as good stress because a lot of people will use that as their motivation to actually get something done. Rather than sit and procrastinate on it. But when I'm talking about stress, I'm talking about the way that the body responds and reacts to certain things that we will experience in our lives. Now, I know we've had numerous conversations about all of this, but for the most part, stress is absolutely a choice. Stress is a result of how we perceive certain things, and we have a choice about how we think about it, how we feel about it, what we believe about it, how we approach it, how we respond to it, how we react to it. So whilst on the one hand, something that's perhaps not going the way that you particularly want it to, and maybe not in the timely fashion that we would like it to, that will appear as frustration. But the more we hold on to that frustration, the more likely that will turn into a stress of sorts, and that will have an effect on our bodies. So, it can come up with all sorts of different ailments like headaches, neck aches, even things like high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, some nasty stuff out there that we've got to be really careful of. And for the most part, stress is the main cause.
With me, it's when I get too stressed. I have something called psoriasis, and it manifests itself on my head,
Okay.
and I have to obviously get some medicated shampoo to treat it. Lately, it's been showing up on my shoulders. So obviously I've had to get some new cream off the doctors and put some cream on me, and obviously Adam's been helping me put it on my shoulders. So I get like a little bit of a massage every night. But
But there's a classic example of the body responding and reacting to stress.
Yeah.
So yours comes out in by way of psoriasis. And you said generally around your hairline. Well, that's your head.
Yeah.
That's where the thoughts of stress and the beliefs of stress start.
Yeah.
So it will affect that area. The fact that you've been experiencing across your shoulders as well, the head, the neck, the shoulders, they're all connected.
Oh no, my head has been absolutely clear this time. It's just my shoulders.
That's going to be the first place that any stress is going to hit you. As it works its way down through the body. So having medicated shampoo is fine. Having special creams, medicated creams, whatever, is absolutely fine. I know a lot of people prefer to go the homeopathic route and have all natural products to help with that. But we can help ourselves with that as well without using any topical lotions and potions. We can change our mindsets. We can change the way that we think. We can change the way that we act and respond to certain things in our lives. It's not always easy, granted, and we're not necessarily going to be able to do it 100% of the time. And there are going to be certain situations that we will find it very difficult. But in the main, we stress about things that are actually sort of there are certain parts that we control, but there are other parts that we can't control, and they're in the hands of other people. So we can't control other people. We can't control what they do and when they do it. So it's about accepting that, okay, we've done our part. That's cool. So now I'll just sit back and wait for them to do what they need to do.
Yeah, and it's the waiting bit that your mind starts to think, right, okay, well, are they doing this? What answers are they getting? And that's I want to know right now sort of thing. That's where
the patience comes in, isn't it?
Yeah, me and Adam were having this conversation yesterday, and we were sat there saying, right, okay, what do we think is going to happen at this meeting? Do we think that it's going to come back positive? Do we think it's going to come back negative? If it does come back negative, what do you think we should do next? If there is a negative, what's our next plan? Because that wasn't discussed at the last meeting. If it does come back negative, we don't have a plan B in place, and that's one of the things that is getting to us a little bit, that we don't have that plan B. Okay. Because normally, with having two children with autism, we're used to having plan A, but having a backup plan B, just in case something goes wrong.
Okay. So, I mean, absolutely nothing wrong with having a plan B, okay? Yeah. What I would say to you is just relax. If you haven't got a plan B, just relax, because maybe you're not meant to have a plan B. Maybe the plan A, the one that's manifesting now, the one that's you're working through now, maybe that's the only plan that you actually need to have. Maybe that's the plan that will come to fruition. But like with all things, it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
So it is all about baby steps and keeping those positive thoughts up there, the vibration up there, and putting it out there. Okay.
Yeah.
And just trusting that all will work out the way that you would like it to. Yeah. In the words of Gabby Bernstein, the universe has your back.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't feel like that on a day-to-day basis. It feels like it is just.
So that again is a choice. That again is a choice. That says to me that your belief in the universe having your back is pretty small.
It's not. I don't think it's where it should be.
Okay, but that's at the moment. But there will be a process to go through, and you have to trust that it will happen. It won't necessarily be a plain sailing, smooth journey. Life rarely is. You know, none of us go through life with whatever it is that we're doing without obstacles in the way, and they are put there to test our ability to overcome them. You know, when we start feeling frustrated and getting impatient and energy starts to drop, and vibration starts to drop, and we start to think and believe that things aren't going right, you know, it's not going to turn out the way we want it to turn out. This isn't going to happen. That's not going to happen. What if that doesn't happen? What if something? All the time we're putting that negativity out there, it's going to take longer.
Yeah. No, well, yesterday.
Then you'll end up in a position more often than not where you'll be sitting there thinking, why didn't we have a plan B? I wish we had a plan B. What do we do now?
Yeah.
So it's about having that belief there that things will work out for you, that these things are going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, one thing I am proud of myself for, right, was yesterday, we was having a bad day. Just having a bad day in general, sort of thing. And it just felt like we had a never-ending list of things to do, and it was right. I can feel myself having a burnout. So I said, right, Adam, I'm going to go and have some self-care. And normally I don't have I don't have a long period of self-care. I just have like little bits every day that keep me going. But I hadn't had any self-care for a few days, so obviously I had a little bit longer yesterday. And after having that hour self-care, I felt a lot better. I'm like, right, okay, I've had my self-care. You know, I've pushed all the negative energy out of me, and now I'm ready for let's crack on with the week. We've got, obviously I knew that I had coffee morning to do this morning, and I'm also on Wednesday, and I'm back on Thursday, and I'm looking forward to doing my shows this week.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to do them. One thing I'm not looking forward to is walking up that hill after school.
So essentially what you were experiencing yesterday was overwhelm.
Yeah.
And that is another contributing factor to stress.
Yeah.
So you did absolutely the right thing. You took time out for you. Yeah. Again, the things that I say to my clients is, you know, look at the list of things that you've made that you believe that you have to do on any given day. Yeah. What are the priorities in that list?
Priorities towards is obviously making sure that Tegan gets to and from school safely every day. That's a given.
Okay.
And
so
let's in the morning doing packed lunches.
Let's take yesterday. Yeah. Your to-do list for yesterday. What was the priority what was the priority in that list?
Making sure Tegan's uniform was dried and ironed.
Okay. And how important is that in the daily, bigger scheme of things?
Well, very important because she needs her uniform for school.
Okay. What would you normally be doing on a Sunday?
Nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay. And how important is that to you?
Really important.
Okay. More important than making sure that Tegan's school uniform is clean and dry and ironed on a Sunday.
Yeah, because normally I have Tegan's uniform Before they were last year when they were back in school, when they was in school, I had all the uniforms sorted out on Saturday, so that then on Sunday we can just have a lazy day and do nothing and just relax and get ready for the next week ahead. But because I didn't do it on Saturday, that was my fault. So it had to be on Sunday.
But how much of your time does it take to get Tegan's school uniform clean, dry, and ironed for the following day?
Adam put it on the washing line outside, and it took me 10 minutes this morning to iron it.
Okay.
I didn't even iron it yesterday.
Okay. No, well, that's all right. You choose to do it this morning, that's fine. You know, it only takes you 10 minutes. That's fine. So what else was a priority on your list for yesterday?
Cleaning up.
Okay. Cleaning up where, what specifically?
Sunday's normally blitz day. We blitz the house, and then I normally on a Saturday, on a Sunday afternoon, I go to my friend's house for a couple of hours. But my friend wasn't available yesterday afternoon, so we give it a skip.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's nice. It's a nice and chilled out day. Do a little bit of cleaning, chill out.
Okay. So what was stressful about yesterday?
Kids messing about. They have one job on a Sundays, and that's get your bedroom ready to be hoovered, and they just did not want to do it yesterday.
Okay. So if they're not getting their bedrooms ready to be hoovered, their bedrooms don't get hoovered, do they?
Yeah. No. It's one of them. That's the routine we've got in place, and they went against the routines of hoovering up, clean the bedrooms so they can be hoovered. So now obviously adds an extra job today because the bedrooms will need hoovering today.
So is it essential to have a daily routine that takes place, should I say, every single day? Or is it okay to have a day off?
Well, yes, it's okay to have a day off, but to two children with autism who rely on routines, it is important as well.
Okay. Yeah. However, it was the kids that didn't want to tidy their rooms. It was the kids that were essentially rebelling against that particular routine yesterday. So what can you do? What can you do to change things around a bit?
We ended up bribing them with extra spending money.
All right, but what can you do? What can you do differently? Because remember, you're a family unit, you're a team, yeah? And whilst you and Adam are the head of the family unit, the heads of the family unit, and Tegan and Lucas are actually learning from you, yeah? Is it important for them to learn from you that it's okay for one day a week to not do that routine? Let's just have a day where we all just chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could have said, we can do it another day and just chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would that work?
Probably.
Cool.
Yeah. But then I could see where all the jobs we don't do on Sunday would mount up to during the week. And then with all the stuff that we have to do this week anyway.
So the jobs that you do on a Sunday, what prevents you from being able to do them throughout the rest of the week?
Food shopping, meetings, warriors, school runs.
Okay.
All these different things that pop up everywhere.
Okay. So with all of those things that you have to do, then bear in mind that there is two of you. There's you and Adam. One presumes you share certain responsibilities. There are ones that you do together, and there are ones that you do individually. Yeah. Okay. So what do you do with the rest of the time?
The rest of the time when we're not doing anything, we spend catching up on things that we haven't had chance to do. So if I'm doing school run, Adam will obviously be at home, and he'll make sure that the washing machine is put on, the dryer is put on, the kitchen is cleaned after breakfast. The rubbish and recycle goes out if they need to be put out because they haven't done the night before, and then making sure the clothes are sorted out. Just general day-to-day activities around the house.
Okay.
And then having some self-care and doing our college courses as well.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So the jobs that you say that you usually have to get done on a Sunday, what can you do to make it so that you don't have any jobs that have to be done on a Sunday? So that you can have the whole of the day as a family fun day.
I'd have to cut out my self-care on Saturday afternoon, which is shopping. Now, because Saturday afternoons, that's when we all disappear out for a few hours, or I'll disappear out if Adam's not well or doesn't want to go out, and we just go out shopping, browse around the shops just because we can.
Okay, but what if you could change a few things around? Say, for example, spend less time on some things so that it frees up some time in your day throughout the week where you can do some of those things that you've got set down to do either at the weekend or on a Sunday specifically, because everybody needs at least that one whole day where the only things they've got to think about are the family that live with them under that roof, and making sure that they're fed, warm, comfortable, having fun, happy, making sure that you're all fed, warm, comfortable, having fun and happy.
Yeah. So I think
it's about looking at your schedule, isn't it, really, during the week, and saying, okay, what are we doing when? How much time are we spending on doing these certain things? Can we shorten the amount of time? What are we actually doing in that time that we perhaps don't need to do? Yeah. Perhaps they're things that don't need to be done every single day, that can be done every other day or just a couple of times a week, maybe.
Yeah, there is one particular thing that Adam doesn't need to do every day, but he does do it every day, and that's talk to his friend in Scotland about how much they don't like the royal family and don't like the government. And he doesn't have to have those conversations every single day, but he chooses to.
Well, yes, absolutely. We all choose to do certain things on whatever days, we choose to do. It's like, I'm just looking through the comments here, and there's hang on, where's it gone? So Paul Duval is saying that he meditates for half an hour.
Yeah.
I meditate for about 15-20 minutes a day, sometimes longer, depending on how much time I have available in order to do that. Sometimes I'll meditate twice a day. So I'll do perhaps 15-20 minutes in the morning. That's part of my morning routine. Yeah. So my working day starts at 10 a.m. And then I will listen to a meditation every night when I get into bed.
Yeah.
And I generally fall asleep to it, but that's absolutely fine, because as long as it's something that is useful and helpful for me, that's fine, because it's all the power of suggestion anyway to the unconscious mind.
Yeah.
So it is very much about looking at, what are you doing in the day? How long are you spending on it? What are you doing in those time blocks? Actually, really break it down. Look at it. Is every single bit of those things, is every single thing necessary? Does it have to be done every single time? Or can it be, done a couple of times a week, for example?
Yeah, we can definitely move things around.
It's about looking at your own habits. I've had morning routines that haven't worked for me, or part of it has and another part of it hasn't. So I've cut out the part that doesn't work for me. kept the part that does, and then over time, it's like with pretty much everything, it will evolve, and you will eventually find something else that you want to introduce into your morning, daily, whatever routine. And so you introduce it and you give it a go. And sometimes it works best in the morning. Sometimes it works better in the evening. Sometimes it works better in the middle of the day. It just depends on how we are at that time, you know. And if we get to a point where we look at what we've set ourselves out to do for the day, and we go, I don't feel like doing that at the moment, then we've got to kind of go within and go, okay, why not? What's stopping us from doing that? What is it about that particular little thing, that task, whatever it is, that activity, that is not resonating with us? What's preventing us from doing it? So, and I'm not saying that, you know, your day's got to be absolutely regimented. You know, I'm not saying that you've got to stick to those times absolutely. But it is about looking at what you're doing in the day, how you're spending the time, how much time you're spending on certain things. And then you look at the weekend and you go, do you know what? We want Sunday to be our day, a family day, where we can just chill out, relax. We can go out and have some fun. Yeah. We can sit down and have a big fat roast dinner at lunchtime or in the evening or whatever. But for the most part, we can just chill out and relax. We haven't got to do anything other than just be and go, where can I fit those things into the rest of the week? Where it's not on that day.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely, the jobs that we do on a Sunday, we could definitely move things around where we could maybe do an extra job every day so that we can clear up Sunday.
Yeah.
To just, if we want to just sit and watch a film, we can. If we want to sit and play on the console, just take our minds off everything for an hour or so, we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam, I'm just looking at your comments in the comments section, actually, and I'm very interested to see, and we're all guilty of doing it from time to time, is we are explaining ourselves. We explain ourselves as to why we haven't done certain things. You know, we don't need to explain ourselves. Why do we feel that need to explain why we haven't done something or why we have done something? You know, we do those things. We have our own reasons for doing them. So we don't have to explain, we don't have to justify our actions to anyone. As long as they're not hurting us or anybody else, we don't have to justify those actions.
Yeah.
Very
interesting. I'm one of these that I feel the need to explain myself all the time, and that's I think that's down to the childhood problems I had experienced. That's my take on it, anyway.
Well, again, yes, I will agree with you there. You know, it's you know, well, why did you do that when I told you not to? Or at school, you know, why have you not done your homework? You know, we've had demands made of us to explain why we haven't done certain things or why we have done certain things.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. It's ingrained into us from a very young age.
It is, yeah. It wasn't just obviously at school; it was at home as well. I'm not going to go too far into it because obviously this isn't my story, but part of my story is I didn't have the best of childhoods with my mum, and obviously now I don't have the best of relationships with my mum, and I just never have. And part of that makes me want to explain myself all the time. And I think that's why I feel like I'm stressed constantly, because I'm having to explain myself.
So what causes you to believe that you have to explain yourself?
The only thing I can fathom out from doing, obviously, all the mental health training that I have done up to now, The only thing I can fathom out is it's got something to do with what I experienced as a child.
Okay.
Like I want to somehow be a people pleaser, the term is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what can you do to turn it around?
I haven't figured that part out yet. I haven't figured that part out yet for myself.
How many conversations have we had?
This is it.
I'm going to go to the last comment made by Adam. He said here, and Kerry, me talking to Dave, you're choosing to allow it to annoy you, but I love you. That's a very interesting comment, Adam. I have to say that yes, Kerry probably is choosing to allow it to annoy her. However, I think personally, what she's doing here is she's saying, she doesn't have a problem with you speaking to your friends on a regular basis. However, is it absolutely necessary to be speaking to the same people every single day about the same things when that time could be used for you and Kerry to be doing other things together?
Exactly.
Or individually around the house? So that you've got that time to spend as a family, and instead of having to spend the best part of the weekend, or most part of the weekend, doing stuff that hasn't got done during the week. This is what I'm saying about, I'm not criticising in the slightest, I'm merely making observations and suggestions here. This is what I was saying about looking at how you're spending your time in the week. What are you doing? How long are you actually spending on doing that particular thing? Break that period of time down, and what other things are you doing in there that are absolutely essential to be done on that particular day? Is it necessary to speak to certain people every single day, or is it okay to actually perhaps speak to them maybe once or twice a week?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I was going to suggest was, I mean, I do know that he enjoys his conversations with Dave. Maybe while you're having that conversation with Dave, Adam, maybe you could do a job around the house while you're talking to him. Multitask. As you say, you can multitask. Prove it.
As an example, when I'm doing when I've got stuff that I've got to hand wash up, like pots and pans, or when I'm putting washing in the machine, quite often I'll be on the phone whilst I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Because they're things that you haven't really got to think too much about, so you can have that conversation with somebody else whilst you're doing that. So, I mean, great, Adam. Yesterday when I was talking with him, I was doing the dishes. Brilliant. Nobody's saying that you shouldn't actually speak to somebody on a daily basis, but it's how you're using that time. Are you using that time, productively, or is it preventing you from actually getting something else done that is potentially more important, a higher priority?
Yeah.
As a family, you've got to look at that and work out, what are your priorities? What do you want to be able to do as a family at the weekend? Does it mean having that whole day together where you're not worrying about the housework, you're not worrying about what's going on with the mental health warriors, you're not worrying about whether Tegan's uniform is dry and ironed for Monday morning? All those things, and many more. If you want that day that's yours, then you've all got to sit down and work it out. And you know what? Sometimes it's okay. It is okay for the kids to not tidy their bedrooms so that you can go and vacuum it. Unless it's the only day of the week that it's done, in which case, move that day. Move that morning routine.
Yeah, needs that. I try and make sure that it's done at least 3 times a week. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah, just so it stays tidy, because we have got 9 cats and they do shed, especially when the weather is warm like it is at the moment. They do shed a lot more, so it's just basically keeping on top of all that catter.
Yeah. Once you've got that worked out, and you then get into the I say routine. I don't much like the word routine because I'm not a stickler for routine, although I do like my morning routine and my bedtime routine. I do have set times that are there for me to do what I want to need to do.
Yeah, so if you want to go for a shower in the morning, you can fit that into your morning routine to go and have a shower.
Yeah, exactly. You know, all of that, the meditation, the reading, the catching up on social media posts and doing the social media posting and all sorts of bits and pieces, you know, writing my book and whatever. I can do those in the morning or later on in the afternoon, or I can do them in the evening as well. You know, not every day, but sometimes I do.
Yeah.
But I always make sure that I've got some time, you know, that my weekends are there, they're mine.
Yeah.
That's my time. And I can either spend it on my own, doing what I choose to do, or I can spend it with other people and just have a bit of fun, let my hair down, you know. And I'm not necessarily
what hair you've got left.
Going to the pub, what hair I've got left. I'm not necessarily talking about going to the pub and getting absolutely steaming drunk either. It's not something I'm too much of. I don't get steaming drunk. I can't. But that's a whole other story. But that in itself, by doing those things, by rearranging your day and cutting out the things that aren't absolutely essential to do each and every day, will help to reduce the level of overwhelm that you're experiencing, because it happens to all of us, you know. That will help reduce the levels of overwhelm, and as a consequence, will actually reduce your feelings of stress. However, we've spent a long time talking about all of that. So what can we do? Again, what can we do to help relieve those stress levels? What can we do when we notice that those stress levels are coming in?
Well, one thing we can do is the SMART goals. So if we've got a big chunk of things, like we've just been explaining, you know, the chunk of jobs that we have to do on a Sunday can be broken down, maybe done one job each day of the week. Now, also doing that one extra job on each day of the week will free up Sundays, because then, you know, we're setting it out. So the SMART, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time. I mean, each one of those jobs, there's only really one particular job, and that's sorting the clothes out, because any other parents will understand that when you've washed and dried clothes and put them in the basket and took them upstairs, sometimes they can be left there and ignored while you're doing other jobs. It comes to weekend and you've got 4 baskets of clothes that need to be sorted out. That's the biggest job of the week.
That's it. It's sometimes it is about doing things as you go along, isn't it? So that, you know, it's those things that they'll only take a couple of minutes to do. But for some reason, and I do it myself from time to time, I look at a job and I think, oh no, you know, I need to get something else done.
I'll do that tomorrow.
And so, yeah, I'll do that later. When in actual fact, it's only going to take me a few seconds to do it anyway. So why don't I just do it now? It's amazing how much we can actually do in the space of 8 minutes.
I think it would take more than 8 minutes to sort a basket of clothes out for 4 people. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a little challenge then.
Oh God.
Yeah. One basket for 4 people. I want you to set a timer when you start sorting it out, and then click it off when you finish sorting it out into the individual piles. Yeah. So one for you, one for Adam, one for Tegan, one for Lucas. One basket, right?
Adam, how many loads of washing you on the washing machine right now?
I would be very, very surprised.
Later on.
It takes longer than 8 minutes to actually sort one basket of clothes out. Very surprised. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No, we normally do it where mine, Adam's, Lucas's, Tegan's, because mine, Adam's clothes go in the same wardrobe anyway. So obviously, and then it's put them on coat hangers and go and hang them up.
Yeah. Okay, so forget about putting them on hangers. Yeah. The clothes that are in the basket, you're making 4 piles out of that one basket.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all you've got to do is make 4 piles out of that one basket. Anything that I take it you iron as you go, do you? As in when you need something, you iron it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you've sorted that pile of clothes out, what's wrong with getting Adam to come in and help you? He can put his stuff on his hangers. You can put your stuff on your hangers. Between you can put Tegan and Lucas's clothes on hangers. How long will that take?
Well, the way we do it is I just throw the basket on top of Adam with the coat hangers, and he puts everything on the coat hangers, and then me and the kids put them into our wardrobes.
Okay, but how long does that take?
It depends on how long Adam takes putting the clothes onto the coat hangers and how distracted he is by his phone.
Okay, so if the two of you do it together,
yeah, we get done quicker.
Yeah.
We're going to see that. I'm going to time it.
Yeah. Again, so it's you're incorporating the smart goal system in there, but it's looking at different ways as to how to get those things done a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Adam,
we're going to be having some fun doing this afternoon.
We're all easily distracted by our phones and our iPads, our tablets, whatever. And there are times, even I will find what's going on my phone far more interesting than, putting the basket of dirty clothes in the washing machine. Yeah. But then it takes seconds to do that. Excuse me.
Yeah. Especially when you've got a smart washing machine, just chuck everything in with the powder and the Lenore or Comfort, whichever one we've got at the moment.
That's
and press one button.
Absolutely. Done. That's it. Then it's doing then, isn't it? It's and then quite often whilst that's doing, I'll stand at the sink and wash the pots and pans.
Yeah.
They're done. That only takes a few minutes. Sometimes it takes longer because I've got a slow running hot tap. It takes longer to actually fill the bowl up with hot soapy water than it does to wash what needs hand washing.
That's waiting for the hot water to come through as well. That's like, for God's sake.
That's it. Then just wipe the surfaces down, and then I can go off and go and do whatever else it is that I need to do or want to do. It might be a want to do, in which case it might be a case of sit down, read a book, or go and watch something on YouTube or Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Adam are watching Peaky Blinders at the moment.
Yeah, or take the dogs out for a walk. Well, I probably wouldn't take the dogs. I wouldn't go out whilst the washing machine's going, but but you get my drift.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is absolutely incorporating those smart goals. But the other things that we can do as well are we can stop and think when we feel that our stress levels are rising. We can stop for a moment, acknowledge it, and go, okay, what's causing me to choose to feel this way? Yeah, what can I do to bring it down? Am I starting to feel stressed about something that is out of my control? In which case, what's the point of being stressed when it's out of my control? I can't do anything about that particular thing, so leave it be. Leave it with the person that is responsible for dealing with it, to deal with it in their time. Okay. And sometimes we do have to chase people up, give them a little bit of a nudge from time to time and say, "Oi."
Yeah.
But then focus on what we're doing as well. Is what we're doing causing us to be stressed? If so, why? What's causing us to choose to feel that stress? What can we do to reduce it or even eliminate it? And I accept that there are going to be certain times where it's a lot more difficult than others. But in general, you know, it's actually quite a simple process to follow. And we can change those thoughts. We can change those feelings. There are all sorts of things we can do to actually alleviate it, to reduce it. It's just about acknowledging where we are, how we're thinking, how we're feeling, why we're thinking that way, why we're feeling that way, and then looking at the situation and go, okay, what can I do about it? What control do I have over what things?
Yeah, like yesterday, I felt overwhelmed, and I thought, right, I need to do something, and I went off and had some self-care, and I had a bit longer self-care so that I could sort myself out, and afterwards, I felt a lot better.
Yeah, sometimes that's all it takes, is just having a bit of time out to
a bit extra time out.
Yeah, just chill and sort of refocus our minds, you know, have that time, whether it be a bath, go and sit in the garden for however long with a book, or go for a walk, whatever it is, go and shut ourselves off with headphones and listening to our favourite music for a little while. Whatever it is, we all need to have that time. We all need to do those things. And I can't express how important that is for each and every one of us. You know, we weren't meant to be constantly working.
Yeah, we are meant to make sure that we have some downtime, make sure that we focus on ourselves. You know, especially when it comes to mental health, you have to make sure you have that time for yourself, because otherwise your head's just going to feel like it wants to explode. Like my head yesterday felt like it wanted to explode. I needed to have some extra self-care. So I took myself upstairs, left my phone with Adam, didn't even switch the television on in the bedroom, and I just lay there and I meditated. Yeah, one of the things I do, I'm into chakras, and so I just lie on the bed and I envision myself going to my peaceful place. It's a warm sandy beach, lovely water that's crystal clear, and it's heaven, because it's quiet, relaxing, and I can clear my mind. It's like I can picture myself pulling all these horrible bubbles out of my head and throwing them in the water and think, I don't need to deal with them right now. Right now, it's me. I mean, it might sound stupid, but that's the way I do it.
Yeah, I have some really awesome meditations that I've used with clients and other people as well, that are very similar to that, and will help to relax the body, release the tension, release the stresses, release all the negativity, and to help open up the chakras one by one and align them.
Yeah.
And it is just, they are just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, I had, as I said at the beginning, a couple of weeks ago, I had a week off, and I was busy for the first part of it. But then towards the end of it, I'd actually achieved what I'd set out to achieve for the most part, not everything. But I'd achieved most of what I'd set out to achieve. And I was having fun. I was spending time with friends, you know, and I was going out and having time, as well as having time for myself. And I just let my hair down. I let that inner child out. And I've just felt really kind of like re-energized, if you like, ever since then. So I feel like I had this lease of life. And it is very, very important to have that time, and it's very, very important what you do with that time, who you spend that time with. You know, we've all got to have fun. We all need to have more fun in life. There's been far too much negativity over certainly the last couple of years, but it's been going on for a lot longer than that. The negativity, you know. I switched off from watching the news, listening to the news, reading the news probably a good 20, 25 years ago, because all that was coming at me was negativity, loads and loads of negativity. And I thought, you know what? I'd got enough negativity going on in my own life that I was attempting to deal with at the time. I didn't need to be bombarded with everybody else's.
Oh,
Yeah. And I do occasionally have a quick look at headlines. I do occasionally accidentally hear it on if I've got the radio on in the car when I'm driving. I will choose what news clips to watch when I feel like I want to watch something, you know. Otherwise, I shut it out. It's not me ignoring it. It's not me denying that what's going on isn't going on. It's just me saying, do you know what? Right at the moment, in my own world, I need that peace, that tranquility, that serenity, that calm positivity, to help keep my own vibrational energy at a reasonable level.
Yeah, but obviously don't go play your meditation music when you're in your car. You might fall asleep.
I don't do that. You're absolutely right. Listen, it's been absolutely brilliant this morning.
It has.
Thank you. My words, they'll come out in a minute. Fantastic conversation. A little bit of housekeeping. Getting ahead of myself here. Tomorrow morning at 7 p.m. UK time, Dale Walsh is back with his amazing, amazing show, Straight, Sane and Sober, and we'll be welcoming our newest member to the Warrior family, the lovely and the awesome, amazing Laura Mazzotta. So you won't want to miss that one. I can promise you won't want to miss that one. Kerry, it's been an absolute pleasure this morning.
Yep,
brilliant.
Been really good.
Excellent stuff. And we'll be back with Coffee Morning next week.
Yep. Bye.